Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna, welcome.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Okay, so we're going to begin on page 1 with Mangalacharana.
Page 1 in this book, Vandeham Shri Guru, starting with the D, Vande. Shri Radha Bihari Ji ki jai, Sachidananda Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Padakamalam Sagrajatam Sahamana Raghunatham Yakam Kansajivam Sarvetam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahamana Shri Vishakhanditamshra Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Nityanamine Shri Krishna Leela Katane Sudaksham Audarya Madhurya Gunashcha Yuktam Varam Varinyam Purusham Mahantam Narayanam Tam Shirasham Namami Trinandinam Bhakta Shiromanim Shri Krishna Padamjitaikavindi Chaitanya Leela Amrita Sarasara Narayanam Tam Satatam Prapadye Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Gaurapresthaya Bhutale Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Yudhinamine Adimartyacharitraya Sashritananchapanine Jivadukhe Sadarkaya Shri Rama Premadayine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri वर्षभानुनी देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्ण सम्बन्ध विज्ञान नयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुग भक्तिदा श्रीगौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये विनतारिणे रूपानुगविरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षाद्वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्भार सम्मोहे पदाम्बुजाय ते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगम्बराय ते गौराविर्भावभूमे स्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिय वैष्णवः सर्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतां सुरतोपङ्गो मम मन्दं मतिर्गति मत्सर्वस्वपदम्बोजो राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यबृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमान् श्रीमद्रत्नाकारसिंहासनस्थो श्रीराधा श्रीरघोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठाभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिवक्रतुतस्थितः कर्षन्वेणुस्वनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तु नः वृन्दाये तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णा भक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतोदर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावाग्निर्वापनं श्रीलोकैरवचन्द्रिकावितरणं विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दाम्बुनिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मास्नपनं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् हरेर्नाम हरेर्नाम हरेर्नामेव केवलम् ततो नास्त्येव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
page 32 in the small book starts with Gurudev, Kripa Bindu.
Kirupe Paibo Seva, starting with K, G, K-I. Page 45 by Srila Narottam Das Thakur.
Ki-rupe, R-U-P-I. Many things start with Ki and K.
Bhaktivedanta
So Sudevi just requested me to explain to those who are participating with us what I'm singing after Jai Vaishnava Thakur, Jai Gurudev and Jai Prabhupada. When I say Prabhu Kripa Karo, what am I singing? Because our Gurudev explained that we should have an understanding of everything that we are doing on the path of bhakti. So it's a crying out or a petitioning for mercy. Prabhu means, oh my master, oh my Lord. Kripa Karo. Kripa means mercy, Karo means please give. Kripa Karo, More Doya Karo. To me, Doya is another name for mercy and Karo. So, Prabhu, oh Master, please give me your mercy. Give mercy to me. Begging. So this after Vaishnava, after chanting for Vaishnavas, calling out to them for their mercy. Next, I've been requested to sing Ananda Kanda Nityananda, which is a bit of a long bhajan, starting on page 62, starting with Ananda, A-N-A-N-D-A, Ananda Kanda Nityananda.
I'm sorry, page 62? I have a feeling this is going to be hard.
It has a little bit of a complicated rhythm structure, going from what we call the 2-beat into the other beat, what we call kanta. I don't know any tal. I just kind of go. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Oh
To try is bhakti. So if you got through that and you tried, this is good, because I know that's what I was trying to do. Some of these are so difficult, these tunes and these beautiful melodies. I remember our Gurudev would hear Shatakoti Gopi sung in this melody, and he would just close his eyes, and who can even imagine where he would go. So I know that these are very near and dear. So to try and to please is everything, even for me so hard.
You want to read one Prabhu, like Vande Vishwambhara?
Okay,
Vande Vishwambhara Pada Kamalam. Starting with B for Vande, B-A-N-D-E.
Page 339.
Page 339 in this book.
Sudevi! No, let Sudevi play. Vande Vishwambhara, page 339.
Wait 1 second. Radha Lal ki Jai Jai Radha
Jai Ho!
Ramana Hari Om Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Om Jai Jai Radha We're going to switch the internet to Radharaman since we're singing about Radharaman.
So please give us 1 minute. Don't go away.
No, wait. Careful, careful, careful. Sorry about this. I don't know if we can switch midstream, but we'll try. It's resuming. Is everyone still there? Radhe Radhe. Maybe you can get up. Maybe you can stand up.
Sorry, devotees, we're trying.
Just pull the flap back.
Okay.
There we go. Are you there? Are we here?
Did everyone get to see our Marmite jar that holds this whole thing together? Okay. Now let's do Kirtan.
Please let us know if you can see.
Everyone's saying they're still here.
Jai.
Jai, okay.
Shri Radha Sarkar ki Jai. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Om. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Om. Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimiraandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Nama Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namine Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangum nandayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandavat Pranam thousands of times at the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. In the same unlimited Dandavat Pranam, in the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Vishnupad, Astottara Shri Srimad, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, to all of our Rupan Gauriya Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas, past, present, and future, and those who are with us on Facebook Live, my Dandavat Pranam.
Mine too. Dandavat Pranam. This one?
Yeah.
Today I received a message from a very close friend of mine, Jayanti. She's part of our watch group. And she told me that she got the message last night that her mother, who was in the hospital already, but now she has been diagnosed with COVID virus. And she asked that all the Vaishnavas pray for her to be peaceful in her mind and in her heart. And I remembered something that Srila Gurudev told me when my grandmother left her body. I said, Gurudev, what should I do? My grandmother, she was very averse to anything Indian, what to speak of Krishna conscious, because of Krishna consciousness. She didn't want anything to do with anything. She was a very strong Catholic, very religious Catholic woman. And she was so afraid we were going to hell. So when I went to Gurudev, I went, what can I do for her? How can I help her Atma? And Gurudev looked at me and he smiled. And he said, oh, grandmother's daughter is devotee? My mother. And I said, yes. And he said, oh. And grandmother's daughter's daughter is also devotee. Yes, Gurudev. And daughter's daughter's daughter, my niece Subhadra, he said, daughter's daughter's daughter also, she is devotee? I said, yes, Gurudev. He said, what more? That was it. That's all he said. So then we just went and did some prayers to Jamunaji on her behalf. And I wanted to just make a little sort of announcement. Because there's so much news in the world that is going around that is just bad news. And it's really not news. Birth, disease, old age, and death. This isn't news. This isn't actually the news. That is this world. It's continuously happening like that. Srila Gaur Govinda Goswami Maharaj says, in this line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, there is no room for pessimism. There is only hope. He has not given anything that will give even a slight bad reaction. So when we are chanting the Mahamantra,
when we are even sitting in our home alone, chanting loudly, that sound vibration continues and it is traveling everywhere. And if we are connected with Sri Guru, and we are holding on tight to the lotus feet of our Guru Varg, of our Gurudevs, of Srila Prabhupada, of our entire Guru Varg, then that holy name, that sound vibration that in itself is purifying. What to speak of traveling the world 7 times and continuing and touching every jiva? Our Gurudev says it will leave this material world. It will go past all the heavenly planets, past Vaikuntha even. And it will reach the ears of Krishna. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, he calls the holy name anti-pollution. He actually says we are in a war with Maya. And the fight against Maya, the anti-pollution against what is coming at us, is not to run around and try to fight everything and change the environment. What should we do? We should change our own mind. We should change our mental setting. What do we need to do? We need to chant the holy names of Krishna. We need to do our sadhan, bhajan. If we actually have love for our family members, for humanity, for jivas, for dogs and cats and parrots and whatever, trees, nature, Mother Earth, who is suffering the burden of this Kali Yuga, if our hearts are really melting, then this is our protest. The chanting of the holy name for the pleasure of Krishna, for the pleasure of Sri Guru. Automatically, it is the protest against everything in this environment that is trying to burden us down. If we want to do good, if we want to do welfare to others, there is no better welfare work than the loud chantings of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Srila Prabhupada came to the West to tell us, this is the news. At that time, there was Vietnam, there was so much protesting going on, women's liberation, the world was changing. And what did he do? He came and he said, this isn't the news. I've come to give you this Mahamantra. Krishna himself has descended in the form of his holy name. And to top that off, to make it even more potent, beautiful, and extraordinary, he came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna came with the mood and the mercy of Srimati Radhika and gave that name and imbued it with prema. That name is eternal. The Mahamantra is eternal. But it is the Yuga Dharma. It is our sacrificial offering to the Lord in this age. It is the only way to purify ourselves and our environment in this age. If we want to do good and help those who are suffering, who are hopeless, and who are hopeful, the best thing that we can do is to come together online and chant the holy names. Chant loudly. Sit down with your songbook. Chant to Gurudev. Chant to Vaisnavas. Call out for help. Now is our test. So many devotees, they came to this line from Srila Prabhupada, from our Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, who came to the West 40, 50 years ago. Now our test is here. What have we learned? We've had like a free ride for so many years. At least in America, we haven't had so much chaos. We've had an easy life. The last 50 years, everything's been pretty good. Now the world is reminded, hey, it's temporary. This isn't our eternal place of enjoyment. Our friends are dying, our families are leaving their bodies. What can we do? Not go out and start crying about conspiracy theories or real theories. They're all material. Now the test has come. Have we heard? Do we have nishta? Yes, it's good to know the truth of this world. It's good to understand what's going on. Yes, we shouldn't be idiots. We shouldn't be uneducated. We should do what is necessary to keep mind, heart, and body, soul together. Yes, but what is our necessity? Our gurus tell us, like a bird in the cage, just shining the golden cage and letting the bird in the cage die and starve. It's calling out, help me. That is the Atma. I have been dying like this since time immemorial, and I've been given the news. I feel like a hippie from the 60s. I've got the news, baby. The news. What is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is the only thing that we should be giving right now. And if we want to help each other, if we want to help Mother Earth, if we want to help the cows going to slaughter, if we want to help every jiva that is in the slaughterhouse of this material world, then chant this mantra loudly. And that is the best welfare work we can do for our friends, for our families, and for even ourselves. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. She told so many things, and fireworks were going off in my head. You know, when Lord Nrsimhadev, after he killed Hiranyakashipu, at that time he was so pleased by Prahlad. He offered Prahlad so many benedictions. Prahlad first said, I'm not a businessman. I don't need any special favor from you. You are my eternal master and I am your eternal servant. It's not right for the servant to ask any special favor of the master, and it's not right for the master to also give any special favor to the servant, because that relationship is eternal. But Narasimha Bhagavan was so pleased with him, he kept petitioning him, you have to take something, I want to give you something. He said, okay, then just let my father, Hiranyakashipu, who was one of the most evil persons we've ever heard of in history. The demigods, even Lord Brahma, I believe, the demigods were saying that he was like a fever of meningitis on the head of the universe. That's pretty bad. And he was so powerful. I mean, he was a real demon. He reversed the effects of karma. He personally controlled the movements of the sun and the moon. He had all Vaishnavas, all Brahmins scattered here and there. His demons were destroying everything. And he had great sages and saints like Narad Muni and Angira Rishi, thousands and thousands, serving him and offering prayers to him. This is how powerful he was. And he was doing so many terrible things and tried to kill Prahlad in so many ways. At the very end, he decided, my own demon friends are not suitable, let me behead him by myself. He pulled out his sword, was about ready to behead his son, and then started asking, where is your God, Prahlad? He smashed his sword handle against the pillar. Is your God here? Prahlad said, of course he's there, he's everywhere. This is the nature of Uttam, he sees his Ishtadev everywhere. So the Lord appeared in the very fierce form of Narasimhadev, Shri Narasimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai, and very easily took care of all of the vows that Brahma made to Hiranyakashipu, killed Hiranyakashipu and millions of demons in the process. He was so pleased with Prahlad. When Prahlad finally said, okay, allow my father to have liberation. This is the nature of the devotee. They don't see that everyone is just evil and demonic. They actually see the internal nature of every jiva. Prahlad saw within his father that the essential nature of that jiva is Nitya Krishna Das. Although he has performed so many simple activities, still, please give him liberation. Amazing, isn't it? We go, my God, they're demons, they should be put to death. But this is not the time for that. Many devotees are forgetting that. We need to make war like Mahabharata. No. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time. He also is making war with his most powerful astra. What is that astra? What is that astra? Harinam Sankirtan. How powerful is that astra? Oh. Sorry. Mahaprabhu says, how powerful is that? Second verse of Sri Shikshashtakam. No, first one, Chaitodya Paramajanam Bhava Mahagavagindribhavanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Then Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis. All of your potencies are present within your holy names. More merciful than Krishna himself, he has invested all of his transcendental Shakti in his holy name. And that holy name is the method by which one can fight against the environment. But that's not our purpose. Why does one call out the holy name? Not to cure pandemics. This is using Krishna in our service. We should turn it around the other way. Yatataror mula nishechanena tripyanti tatskanda bujopashaka pranopaharach chaitendriyanam tataiva sarvahanam achyutejya. If you just water the root of the tree, automatically the entire tree is nourished and satisfied. If you put the food in your mouth, chew it, swallow it, and let it go into your stomach and digest it, automatically your entire body is nourished and satisfied. In the same way, if you give your love, your affection, your focus, your attention, your absorption at the lotus feet of Krishna, automatically everything is taken care of. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, this is Shastra. So the process for this age is not necessarily going out with weapons and fighting and taking care of things the old-fashioned way like they did in the Mahabharata war. The new-fashioned way is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's way, is Nityananda Prabhu's way. What did he do? He stopped Mahaprabhu from using his chakra. Mahaprabhu was calling for his chakra and Nitai stopped him. No. Your glory will truly be known if you can remove or kill the demonic tendency within each individual of this world and awaken the devotee. How do we do that? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Prahlad asked Narasimha Bhagavan, okay, then please deliver my father. Narasimha said to him, it's already done. For even a Kanishta Adhikari Vaisnava, 7 generations are automatically liberated. Different members of our Guru Varga have spoken about this in different ways. Some have said 7 generations. So we're thinking my immediate family in this body. But some of our Guru Varga have said also in previous lifetimes. So 7 generations of your previous lifetimes. Also, so it's almost like a 3-dimensional. Not only with this body and your mother and her mother, but what were you in your previous life and that relationship and the previous life. So it works in a very interesting way. And some have said 7 generations backward and forward. So for Madhyam Adhikari Vaishnava, 14 generations. And for Uttam Adhikari Vaishnava, who Prahlad Maharaj was considered Uttam, 21 generations were automatically liberated. That's why his grandson, Prahlad Maharaj's grandson, Bali Maharaj, had a natural inclination to serve the Lord. Even though he was born in a family of demons, and even though he had all advice against it, even his own Guru Shukracharya was against it, still Bali Maharaj's nature and tendency was to serve Vishnu in the form of Vamadev, and he rejected the order of his Guru to do it. Because he was in the generation, the downline of Prahlad Maharaj. So,
His grandson, right?
Yes, his grandson. So earlier Sudevi was saying, what is the best thing that anyone can do for anyone else? besides sharing Krishna with them, even if they won't accept it, especially for our own family members. In this week alone, I think I've heard from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 devotees have lost family members. And the last 3 weeks, people that I know, one of my Gurukul teachers just passed away. His name was Karnamrita Prabhu. He just passed away from this virus. What is the best thing that we can do, especially for those that we know and care about? The best thing that we can do is to become the best devotee we can become for Krishna, of Krishna. And automatically, those who are in connection with us will be benefited. So many times parents come to us, or family members, friends, and they're crying, my child doesn't want to be a devotee, they don't really have any inclination, what should I do, what should I do? The best thing we can do, if you cannot force bhakti, at least you can be strong in yourself. Take shelter of the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna, of Harinam Prabhu. Serve them with all of your heart, and everyone in connection with you will be benefited. When we come to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, Srimad Bhagavatam says, from those pure devotees, prema atoms are emanating. And they go in all directions. Prema is much more powerful than material nuclear radiation. That will dissolve your material body as well. And prema atoms will also not only dissolve your material body, but will dissolve your subtle body, your material mind, material intelligence, material false ego. And as a result of that satsang, the association of pure devotees, what will remain? Your pure soul in its nature of loving service to Krishna. All of this other stuff is a temporary material covering. Our Gurudev said, there is not one sin we have not committed millions of times since time immemorial. We have done everything that there is to be done. There's no stone we have left unturned. We have experienced everything again and again and again. And Prahlad Maharaj confirms this when he's telling his father, Hiranyakashipu, Matirna Krishne Paratasvato va Vito Vipadyeta Grihavrataram Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tamishram Punat Punashtarvita Charvananam. Again and again chewing that thing which we have already chewed before. That means everything not to do with Krishna. That's why Sudevi said it's not news. Because it's not new. It's not fresh. It's not ever fresh. Navayovanam. Krishna is ever fresh. This material world, it's not new. It is a broken record. It keeps skipping. And what is it telling us? Birth, disease, old age, and death. Birth, disease, old age, and death. Suffering. A little bit of flickering happiness. But you just keep going in the cycle again and again and again and again and again. One day, we must become intelligent. I believe Jiva Pavana Prabhu the other day posted that shloka I was trying to remember. Tasyaiva heta prayateta kovido. We should endeavor for that thing which we have not endeavored for previously. We should endeavor for that thing which we have not endeavored for previously. That is Krishna Bhakti. That is what will satisfy my Atma, what will bring me perfection. Savai pungsang paro dharmo yato bhaktir bhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. What can completely satisfy the self? Our Gurudev said this does not mean only this self, it also means the supreme self. Because this self can only be fully satisfied when the supreme self, Krishna, is satisfied. Right? I already told about watering the root of the tree. So, Savai pungsang paro dharmo, the topmost duty or occupation of all humanity. Savai pungsang. Pungsang means humanity. Paro dharmo, supreme occupation that will make us happy forever and that will bring complete perfection. What is that? Yato bhaktir adhokshaje. to develop bhakti, love and devotion for that Supreme Personality who is beyond the bindings of this material world. That is Sri Krishna. Ahaitaki apratihata. It should have no material cause and it should be endless. That aspiration, that drive, that obsession for serving Krishna should have no material cause. No material cause. Spiritual cause must be there. What is that? The intense, greedy desire to have it must be there. That is the root qualification for bhakti. And it should be without cessation. How can it be without cessation? Only in the association of those persons whose hearts are overflowing with that intense, greedy desire to serve Krishna. With those personalities, then we can run forward on the path of bhakti. So, one other thing I wanted to mention, and it's very essential for me to mention this. Yesterday, I requested all of us to pray for the soul of Rasakeli's brother. His name is Krishna Balaram. So we heard something very interesting today about him. We heard that he grew up in a family of devotees. As a young boy, he was, of course, doing all of the activities of bhakti, chanting the holy name. He went to Gurukul. He grew up as a devotee. But after some time, of course, the material energy has its way. He became absorbed in the material energy. But just before his departure, it was about a month ago, he posted something, a picture of Prabhupada.
Kirtan, an old temple kirtan.
Old temple kirtan, and he wrote, huh? With Prabhupada. Something like, I wish I was back there again. I want to live in that life. He posted about a month ago. And then just right before he departed, he wasn't feeling well inside. So he had some very heavy reaction. He went and took a shower. He came out. He sat down. Did something which he hasn't done for years. He was crying and repenting and praying to the Lord, I'm sorry for neglecting you.
He was saying it in front of his younger brother.
His younger brother was present there at that time. And he was kind of repenting. I'm so sorry for neglecting you. I have neglected you. I have not served you. And he was repenting, apologizing, please forgive me. And then he took his japamala and began taking shelter of Harinam Prabhu for quite some time, which he hadn't done in years. And then after that, he wasn't feeling well. He went and laid down. Just at that moment, his brother was in the other room. His brother heard a sound coming from the other room, sound of pain. He ran into the room and he saw, my brother has just passed away. Immediately, he saw that there was a look of pain on his face. He grabbed some tilak and Ganga water and whatever he could get. He put tilak all over his body, put Ganga water, anything spiritual, the dust, anything he could find, put it on his body, and then within a very short time he noticed that look of pain disappeared and practically a smile manifested on his face. And as soon as I heard this, I was thinking, my God, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Vikramana Sosti, that even a little progress on this path can save one from the greatest fear. What is the greatest fear? Re-entering into the cycle of samsara. Yes?
Rasakeli Didi told me that her mother went to Shamrani Didi a couple of years ago and said, please, my son, help him. He's not a devotee. He won't follow like this. And Shamrani Didi said, don't worry about him. She said, you, to Rasakeli, have had association of at least 3 Mahabhagavats, of such great caliber Vaishnavas. Don't worry about him, he'll be okay. And she said her mother and her, they remembered that also at that time because of their association also.
So this is also part of that proof, that having connection to someone who is connected to pure Vaishnavas, like Sudevi told that story of Gurudev asking about her grandmother, grandmother's daughter, daughter's daughter, daughter's daughter's daughter, then what more? Means it's already done, liberation is guaranteed. But in this case, when he was young, he had practiced bhakti. He had chanted the names of the Lord. He had had association with Vaishnavas. He had heard from Srimad Bhagavatam. He had taken prasad. He had danced in kirtan in front of the deity. His family now lives just at Radharaman Mandir. For years they've been living there. The point I'm trying to make is what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. If someone has made even a little bit of progress on this path, it will save them from the greatest danger. And Srila Prabhupada tells in the purport in Bhagavad Gita as it is, that in any material endeavor, if you start a little bit, but then you don't continue, it will just fizzle out and it will fail.
Like your college.
Like me, when I went to college, I took 4 years of classes. I struggled, I took tests, I stayed up all night, I was struggling, but I did not have a major, I didn't have a goal. So after 4 years, when I left university, because I didn't have a major, I never graduated with anything. Except I came to the lotus feet of my Gurudev, so that was the different kind of graduation. But the point was, I did so many things, but I didn't get any result from that. So in the path of bhakti, Srila Prabhupada was saying, Neha Vikramana Sosti, that in the material world, if you do a little thing and you don't complete it, it will fail. But in the spiritual life, even if you do a little something, that will never be lost. It will never be lost. It's quite amazing, isn't it? And so Srila Prabhupada in the purport said, if you have come up to 1%, if you've come up to 1%, then in your next life you will continue from that point and go up. That's quite amazing. It's quite merciful. And this was also confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. There Krishna is speaking to Uddhava, I believe. And it is told again that even a little bit of progress on this path can save one from the greatest danger. So imagine, if we've only put 1 minute in, what to speak if we put all of our time, all of our energy.
Prabhupada said 1 second.
Srila Prabhupada said, if we're sincere, and we really try to follow, and we cry out, and we pray, in 1 moment we can attain perfection. He said, Krishna guarantees this. One can attain perfection in 1 moment, if we're really sincere. So even though it is possible that we have done so much, so then we're guaranteed to continue in our next life with whatever we have developed. We should not be lazy on the path of devotion, because it can take a long, long time if we don't have akantic, one-pointed, exclusive, unalloyed mood. So we should not be lazy or complacent. Rupa Goswami says in Sri Upadeshamrita, Nectar of Instruction, Utsaha Nishchaya Dharyat. Utsaha, enthusiasm. That's completely the opposite of laziness. Nishchaya means firm determination, firm conviction, unbreakable, unswerving conviction. And dharyat means patience. What kind of patience? Okay, perfection didn't manifest today, or it didn't manifest in the last 1 year or 10 years. Anyhow, Krishna is not my servant, I am his servant. And when my master, when my Lord chooses to give his mercy, that is up to him. In the meantime, I will only strive to serve him, strive to please him. I cannot demand or force, but I can pray. I can cry out, and my crying out comes out in the form of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and service. This is the proof that I'm crying out, I'm making an endeavor. Please notice me, please see me. I'm drowning in this ocean of material existence. Like we pray in that bhajan, Gurudev kripa karke mujhko apna lena, mere nao bhamar dole use par laga dena. My boat has been caught in a whirlpool and I see no way out. please be merciful to me. Please accept me as your own. One of my favorite paintings when I was little was that one of the devotee, he's in the ocean, and Krishna's coming on the back of Garuda, and he's in this violent ocean, and he's got his arm up, and Krishna's reaching his hand down. Really the point where Krishna connects, that connection of the hand grabbing, for us that is known as Sri Guru. So taking shelter of the lotus feet of Sri Guru, we will now continue with going beyond Vaikuntha. Shri Sanatan Goswamipada ki jai, Shri Gurudev ki jai. Vairag Juga Bhakti Rasam Prayatnair Payanam Maman Vipshmandam Kripambadirya Paradukaduki Sanatanastan Prabhum Ashrayami. Praying to the lotus feet of Sri Sanatan Goswami and our Gurudev, the commentator, may even a particle of their bhavs, of their moods which are present within these pages, manifest within our hearts. Wow. So, yesterday we were hearing that Gokumar was in Nilachal, Jagannath Puri. And that time, he desired to be the king there so that he could serve Jagannath Dev. And he became the king. He was serving Jagannath Dev. He liked the way that everyone honored the Mahaprasad, how much faith they had in this form of Krishna, Mahaprasad. But after some time,
Before we get very into this, can you just answer one quick question?
Sure.
It's off topic. One Bhakta wants to know, is it true that Ashwatthama is still here now?
Is it true that Ashwatthama is still here now? Yes, it is.
Quick answer.
Quick answer. Okay, so Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya. Dronacharya was the guru, the martial arts guru of the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Very powerful warrior. He fought on the side of the Kauravas against the Pandavas. Ashwatthama was his son. So at times of war, sometimes people do very atrocious things. So Ashwatthama, his son, did a very un-Kshatriya-like thing, because actually Ashwatthama is the son of a Brahmin. Therefore his nature was to be a Brahmin, but he was using his energy as a Kshatriya. So he was going outside of his adhikar. Then what came as a result? He became so furious and angry that at the night time he snuck into the camp of the Pandavas and killed the 5 sleeping sons, the children of Draupadi. At that. Huh? This is the quick answer. So, Arjun hunted him down and brought him before Draupadi and wanted her to order him to kill Ashwatthama. He was so angry. He was so ready to kill Ashwatthama. But in that one moment, although Draupadi was born of fire, she felt compassion for the mother of Ashwatthama because she had just lost her own children. She was thinking, how can I give this same pain to his mother? So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, for one who has known honor, dishonor is worse than death. Was it Ashwatthama? Not only did he kill the 5 sleeping sons of Draupadi, but he also sent the Brahmastra to kill the son of Abhimanyu. That's Arjuna's son. And his son, in the womb of Abhimanyu's wife, Uttara, was Parikshit Maharaj. So he sent the Brahmastra, focused the Brahma Astra to kill the generations. He had already killed all of the other children, and he wanted to kill this one as well. Basically destroy the dynasty forever. So Krishna himself protected. He went inside the womb of Uttara. Parikshit Maharaj is telling, he saw him like the size of a thumb. And he destroyed that Brahmastra and protected the fetus, Parikshit Maharaj. So this Ashvatthama was doing some very evil, sinful activities. Krishna cursed him that you will remain in this world and wander alone and unloved for the remainder of the Brahmanda. Means the duration of this material creation. That's a curse from Krishna. Alone and unloved. So, the other thing is that Arjuna chopped his hair. He had a jewel in his hair that gave him power, and that jewel was removed. So yes, this Ashvatthama still remains within this world, and Shastra says that in the future,
because Krishna's curse can never be bad.
Because the curse of the Lord always has mercy within it. There's no ill effect from anything given by the Lord. So this personality who has had darshan of Krishna, who will witness everything in this world for all time, will become in the future Vyas, who will write the scriptures. Vyasadeva. He will be the next Vyasadeva. Amazing, isn't it? So yes, Ashvatthama is still on this planet. I don't know where he is. I don't know if we'll be able to find him because he was cursed to be alone and unloved. So it would be very difficult to befriend him if Krishna cursed him like so, and also to even get close to him. So, yesterday we told how Gopkumar finally felt dissatisfied in Jagannath Puri. And then he desired to go. He was feeling indifferent to Nilachala, chanting his mantra, intense hankering for going, where? To that place where Bhagavan is served directly. That is?
Heaven.
The heavenly planets, Svargalok, where Indra resides. Because there where Indra is residing, also Vamanadev, the Supreme Lord, is always residing there with him. And they are serving him there directly. He's like Indra's younger brother, therefore he's called Upendra. So it says, chanting his mantra, this is his Gopal mantra. Intense hankering for going there arose within him, and he immediately arrived in Indralok. There, Indra was directly serving Upendra, Vaman Dev. Directly serving him what? Delectable foods and drinks, like a loving brother. By the influence of his mantra japa, Gopkumar's desire to attain the position of Indra was fulfilled. See, Indra is also a post. It's not necessarily that the Indra in this planet or this universe is the same as the Indra in other universes.
Also
Brahma also. It's a post. It's temporary. As we know from the history, where is it mentioned? In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned. How Krishna in Dwarka, he desired to see all of the Brahmas from all of the different universes. So all of them had come, and the Shivas, and the Indras. And by Krishna's mystic power, he is Yogeshwar, the master of all mystics. He was able to accommodate all of the billions and trillions of them within his hall. At that time, our Chaturmukh Brahma came. Four-headed Brahma came to Dwarka.
I think he was teaching him a lesson.
Krishna wanted to teach him a lesson because he was feeling a bit proud. So he came there to Dwarka. And what happened? They said, "Who are you?" He said, "I'm Brahma." And they asked him, "Which Brahma?" He said, "The one, the only." And they're like, "1 minute." So they went in to see Krishna, and Krishna said, "Let him in." So many of our acharyas have told it in different ways, but it was difficult to even open the door to let him in because there were so many inside. When he finally went inside, he saw millions of Brahmas, millions of Shivas, and millions of Indras, and all of them simultaneously were offering their Dandavat Pranam at the lotus feet of Krishna. Their helmets were all touching the ground at the same time and making a very loud, resounding sound. At that time, Brahma was realizing, I'm the smallest of all of these personalities. And he realized, I am nothing. Bhagavatam says that Brahmas are being born and dying like bubbles in the ocean, in the Atlantic. If you can imagine how many bubbles are in the ocean, Brahmas are being born and dying like that. So, how great is the Lord, the Supreme Lord? So, this Gopkumar desired to attain the position of Indra. He's becoming more and more attracted toward personal seva with the reciprocating aspect of the Lord. So he sees that Indra is personally serving food and drinks. Our Gurudev many times said, when Prahlad Maharaj, he's in Shantaras, does he ever think that Lord Nrsimhadev has been fighting for a long time? He fought millions of soldiers. He fought Hiranyakashipu for a long time. Maybe I should give him a glass of water? No, he thinks Bhagavan is Atmaram, Aptakam. He doesn't need anything, doesn't want anything, doesn't need my water. Only, I'm admiring his awesomeness. He doesn't need anything. But the Brajabasis, this is the extreme on the other side. Does Bhagavan need any? They don't even think he's Bhagavan. He's so greedy and needy, he can't help himself from sneaking from home to home and stealing butter. So much so that Mother Yashoda has to chase him with a stick and teach him a lesson, tie him up. The same Supreme Lord, original form of course, but still, because of the ras in Vrindavan, they don't even think he's God. All they know is they love him and he loves them. If you hear Srila Prabhupada's first purport on Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, he said, do you know this song, Jai Radha Madhava? Previously, the devotees were singing an interesting tune. What was it? Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tirvanachari. And so Prabhupada comes with his kartals. Do you know this bhajan? Jaya Radha Madhava. And the devotees were completely blissed out. And then he talked about this beautiful bhajan kirtan. And he said in Vrindavan, the Brajavasis don't know that Krishna is God. Maybe he has some yogic or mystic power. He may be God or whatever he is. This doesn't matter to him. All they know is that they love him. And in this same purport he said, so our Krishna consciousness movement is how to become one of the Gopi Jan. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradhari. How to become one of the Gopi Jan. When I was little, everyone in ISKCON knew that. After a few years, everyone forgot that. But everyone knew it back in the day. Otherwise, Kirtanananda in that old black and white video from 26 2nd Avenue wouldn't have poked his head around the corner and said, actually, we all want to be gopis. That's what Prabhupada was preaching back then. And then he adjusted his preaching according to the time, place, and circumstance. Our Gurudeva also did something similar. He adjusted his preaching over time to accommodate more of the masses. But really, what is the goal of our line coming from Rupa Goswami? Enive danadhara sakirānugata karo. Koro seva adhikara diye koro nija dasi. To become a real, true Rupanuga. Our Krishna consciousness movement is how to become one of the Gopi Jan. So how did I get there? Because I was talking about Gop Kumar's attraction to this personal, intimate service, that Indra is personally serving Vamandev, Upendra, drinks and food. It's not a distant thing. There's affection, brotherly affection there. Indra knows that he's God, but he also sees that he's my younger brother. So there's some intimacy there. And this is attractive to Gop Kumar. So by the influence of his mantra japa, means his meditation on his mantra, Gopal mantra. Gopkumar's desire to attain the position of Indra was fulfilled. So he became Indra, the king of heaven. When Indra fled out of fear of the demons, the sages and demigods appointed Gopakumar to the position of Indra. Indra ran away, the other one, and Gopakumar took up that position. For some time he enjoyed the facilities that came with that position and served Upendra in many ways. But during the night, he was unable to have Upendra's darshan. And for this reason, he began to feel indifferent toward that place as well. Because he was feeling too much separation, he was not able to have the darshan of Upendra. So he began to feel indifferent. Next, he traveled throughout the Bhur, Bhuvar, and Svar planetary systems. So Gopkumar is showing us his own progression, going from one planetary system to the next. And he was taking the highest positions within each planetary system. He took the position of Indra, then Bhur, Bhuva, Sva, having conversations with Pipalayan and other sages. After that, he went to Brahmalok, where after some time, you guessed it, he attained the position of Brahma. Gopkumar became Brahma. Interesting, isn't it? One can attain the position of Brahma if they follow the Varnashram system perfectly for 100, or they do some yagyas. There's 100 lifetimes perfectly. They can attain that position. It's a position that one can aspire toward and attain, but this is not the goal of those who are in the path of bhakti. Our goal is not to have any position whatsoever. Amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Amanina manadena. Amanina means I don't want any position. Manadena means I'm ready to give all respect to others. So no ego. Then one can take shelter of the holy names and serve the holy name constantly. Vaishnava is not searching after, I want to be prominent, I want to be in some great position, I want to increase my position. Okay, now if I'm a brahmachari for this many years, then I can become a sannyasi. And then after I become a sannyasi, then I can become a guru. Then I've got my disciples, then I have my bank account set. Now I'm all good and comfortable. Even if something happens to me, I'll be well taken care of. Aspiring for these kinds of positions is diametrically opposed to the definition of bhakti. Anya abhilashita shunyam. Without any other desire. Other than what? What is exclusively for Krishna's happiness? Anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. What is for his benefit? What is for his pleasure? That is uttama bhakti, or pure bhakti. So here, he attained the position of Brahma. There, the personified Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, and other scriptures were debating amongst themselves the personification of these scriptures. The Vedas are not just words written down in books. The Vedas have personifications. The Vedas emanated originally from the breathing of the Supreme Lord. And everything of him has a form, a manifestation. One form of the personification of the Upanishads, they're called Upanishadchari. The personification of the Upanishads became also very attracted to Krishna. And Krishna fulfilled their desires by having them manifest as gopis and Krishna Lila. So they're known as Upanishadchari gopis. So they have personifications and they manifested as gopis, and Krishna fulfilled their desires. So when the personified Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, and other scriptures were debating amongst themselves, Some were propounding the idea of merging into Brahman, while others were advocating Bhagavad Bhakti. This is a very, very large subject. I can go on for a long time. I'll try to bypass it for right now. They were trying to decide which of the two is superior and whom should be worshipped. They were trying to decide. So all of these scriptures were having these debates. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says that one should not hesitate on having these kind of debates when it comes to bhakti, when it's about Krishna. If we're discussing topics of Krishna and Krishna bhakti, then this is good and this is favorable. If we're discussing other things which take our minds away from Krishna and absorb it in mundane thoughts, this is dangerous. This is called asat sanga. Srila Rupa Goswami tells us in the second verse of Upadeshamrita, the nectar of instruction, what are the 6 things which are detrimental to bhakti? Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa. Prajalpa means speaking about or discussing subjects which are not connected directly to Krishna, which won't enable one to remember Krishna. And just think about it this way. And I mentioned it yesterday, but I was meditating on this, actually thinking about mentioning it more frequently. If you knew you had only 2 days left to live, what would you want to think about and what would you want others to remind you of? That's the answer to all questions, right there. Should we be discussing and thinking about all sorts of mundane subjects, or should we be thinking about that subject which I would be thinking about if death were to come to me within 2 days? Because there's no guarantee when it will come to me. So therefore we should meditate on Krishna. Manmana bhalamad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru. Day and night. Always remember Krishna and never forget him. This is the main instruction. The prominent instruction. So, where was I? Atyahara prayasascha prajalpa. Prajalpa means discussing, talking about, focusing on, meditating on anything which is not directly related to bhakti. And then it says niyamagraha janasangas. Janasangas means associating with worldly minded persons and their conceptions. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, reading too many of these conceptions will distract the mind, take it away, and one will not be able to focus on and thereby develop bhakti for Krishna. And Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, even for great personalities, if even one of our senses is left unchecked, it can pull the mind, the heart, the body, the senses of even a great personality fully into the clutches of illusion, if even one is left unchecked. So it is very imperative. So there it says, Jana Sangas. Shadbir Bhaktir Binashyati. Binash means to destroy. Right? We say about Sri Narasimha Bhagavan, Sarva Vigya Binashana. Sri Narasimha Bhagavan Ki Jai. He removes all anarthas, all ignorance. Not removes, binash. He destroys. Right? So Shadbir Bhaktir Binashyati. What will destroy my inclination on the path of bhakti? Association with worldly-minded persons. Mahaprabhu explains what kind of worldly-minded persons. Asat sangatyag, he tells to Raghunath Das Goswami. Give up, reject unfavorable association. Any association which does not remind you of Krishna or which actually pulls you away from remembrance of Krishna. These are unfavorable association. Those associations which will take our minds and absorb them in thinking about subjects like Mayavad or atheism or lust or everything else, all of the problems of this world, meditating on it, absorbing one's mind in it. If we don't think about Krishna and death comes, then where will we be? Even though It is said that we will not lose what we have attained. Still, our progress can be stunted, and it might take us an extremely long time to get back to where we were. It's not a guarantee. Some people think that, oh, when someone dies, then, oh, they made it to perfection. This is not the qualification for perfection. Death is not the qualification for perfection. Srila Gurudev Maharaj explained that death is a doorway. As you were in this life, think about it. If you go from one door, from one room into the next room, because that's pretty much all anyone can do these days, you're still the same person. You're just continuing from one room to the next. So we're just continuing from one body to the next according to our state of consciousness. It doesn't mean we've lost our bhakti sukriti, but just because one might die, it does not mean that suddenly they've got a massive installment of bhakti sukriti because they died. We've learned this lesson from Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Raghunath Das Goswami was feeling so much separation from the Vaishnavas that he decided, I will come to Vrindavan, I will either drown myself in Jamuna or jump off of Govardhan Hill. And Sanatan Goswami said, what are you thinking? He said, if that was the recipe for perfection, don't you think we all would have done that by now? And then he told what Mahaprabhu told him. He said, I also felt that way. I wanted to give up my life by jumping underneath the wheels of the chariot of Jagannath during the Rath Yatra procession. Mahaprabhu said to him the same thing. What do you think? Don't you think that if that was the way that we would all attain perfection, that we would have all done that by now? Whose body is this? Is it your body? This body belongs to Krishna. This body belongs to Gurudeva. We should not have this independent thought. So, I'm coming back to my point. Atyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangas. And just in case we didn't catch that Rupa Goswami said janasangas is unfavorable, in the next verse, where he's talking about the 6 things that are actually favorable for bhakti, utsaha nishtaya dharya tatta karma bhavartana, he mentions it again, but in the negative. It is favorable to reject unfavorable association, he says. Sangat tyagat. This is favorable to bhakti, to reject unfavorable association. So among the 6 symptoms of surrender, of sharanagati, which are the intrinsic symptoms of basic shraddha or faith, anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. The first one is making a firm, resolute, determined vow that I will only accept in my life what is favorable for the development of Krishna bhakti. And the second one, which is an automatic, necessary side effect of that, is that I will avoid, I will reject anything in my life which is unfavorable for my development of Krishna bhakti. So this is anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. And the most detrimental thing, starting with the very first word of Upadeshamrita, vacho vegam. The urge to speak, which nowadays has been transferred to the urge to type. Keyboard warriors. And share. The urge to share, if you want to call it that. This is vacho vegam. How do we turn the urge to speak into something favorable for bhakti? Instead of using it for all sorts of nonsense, we use it for the service of Krishna. Glorifying Krishna, His names, His forms, His qualities, His pastimes, His devotees, His everything to do with Krishna. So,
I just wanted to maybe make a correlation here. I hope that's the right word.
yes.
Previously, we spoke a few days ago about Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur and how he spoke about sadhana and how when we perform sadhana, automatically Maya becomes something neglectful, automatically, and we become more attracted through bhakti sukriti toward the path of bhakti. And I was just, as we're hearing this, hearing how because he's continuing his sadhana, his mantra, even though he's in the company of Upendra, he's Indra, the god of heaven, he's Brahma, he's taking all of these positions because of his sadhana and because of his following the order of his guru, automatically he's becoming indifferent to all of these other processes or all of these other gifts of sadhana. So I thought maybe you could...
This is an essential point that she just mentioned. As she told the other day, Gurudev told her, you should be careful. Krishna will try to make you a queen in Dwarka. Are we okay?
Yeah, we're... I think it's okay.
It's a slide, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Krishna will try to make you a queen in Dwarka. She said, oh, I'm not worried, Gurudev. He said, no, why not? She said, because I know you will protect me. And he said, yes. But this is also the same with our sadhana. If we follow, like Gurudev said, exactly as our Gurudev has ordered, without adding, subtracting, just follow as our Gurudev has ordered, how we should take shelter of that mantra. Just continue and do it. The processes of bhakti which our Guru Varga have given us, very, very clearly, straight, focused, as they've given it to us, then the power of that mantra will bring us past all of the tests. There are going to be tests. The first test is, a real test is, what will you do if there is impending death? Will I absorb myself in everything which is abhinivesh, all kinds of material things? Or will I absorb myself in Krishna consciousness? That is our first test. Then from there, we can go on and take birth in many different situations. I remember when we were little in Gurukul, we used to hear that there's going to be amazing tests which will come, and we have to pass those tests before we can go to Krishna. What was that? Mystic opulence. All kinds of mystic powers will come. Can you give those up? You know, little kids, they want to fly, they want to do all sorts of things, they want power, pulling money out of thin air.
Ice cream out of the air.
Ice cream out of thin air. You know who you are. Whatever desires we may have had to be some kind of hero, flying, jumping, becoming small, disappearing, being invisible, teleporting, and all of that kind of stuff. These are mystic siddhis, the power to read others' minds, even control and manipulate others' minds. These are all mentioned in Shastra as mystic powers. We have to become indifferent to all of these. And then, they said also all kinds of wealth and the most beautiful gems and jewels. The most valuable things, material things in this universe, we will have to overcome that. And here Gopkumar has to overcome even being in the position of Indra, in the position of Brahma. But Raghunath Das Goswami in Sri Manashiksha tells us, Katha Mukti Vyagra, even hearing about this desire to have cessation from material suffering and liberation from that, this is like wide open mouth of a tiger that will devour you. The idea of merging into Brahmajyoti. And then he says, even the desire to be with Lakshmi and Narayan in Vaikuntha. Iti Lakshmi Pati Vyomanayanim. Even that, any other, even avatar, the desire to be in that association, we have to become so one-pointed. At this time, as we started, so many people that I know and people that they know. My aunt, Marcia, her mother just went into the hospital and she's about ready to leave this world. So there's so many people, even in our own vicinity, people that we know or know people who know people, that close, who are departing from this world at this time. And those who have come into this path of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the line of Mahaprabhu, what he's given, and especially those who have come in the line of Rupa Goswami and Raghunath Das Goswami and Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, our Gurudev, all of our Rupanuga Guru Varga. It is such a refined process. What is the Yuga Dharma for this age? What is the process of attaining perfection in this age, in this time?
Devaki already wrote it. Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Eva Kevalam.
Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Eva Kevalam. There is no, only Harinam. Kalo nastyeva, 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 gatiranyata. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. But there's so many different forms of Harinam. But what is the Maha Mantra? The greatest chant. That thing, that mantra, that form of the Lord which awakens praying. That same mantra, that same form of the Lord which the Lord himself, not just the Lord himself, the combined form of Radha and Krishna took shelter of in order to experience the highest praying for Krishna, and which he also gave to us. What is that? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Our process is not chanting Narayan Kavacha. It is not doing all sorts of other things. It's not even chanting Narasingha Kavacha. What is the process given to us by Mahaprabhu? We should follow what our Guru Parampara has given us and not become distracted by all of the other processes that people are undertaking out of fear to protect themselves. This is not pure bhakti. Pure bhakti, our Gurudev always told us, and so we've tried to apply it in our lives. Don't pray to Krishna for any other thing. If you're suffering, even if you're in a lot of pain, if you're without money, don't pray to Krishna for this. Don't pray for relief from your suffering. Only utilize those aspects of bhakti to please Krishna for his happiness and for his pleasure. That is bhakti.
We try to, but it's not easy. Come on.
Yes, we're not perfect. Sometimes it comes like that. You start crying. You go, oh my God. And you desire help. But still he has ordered this. And so we should try to come to this point. A few years back, there was one lady, she was dying of cancer. She had cancer growths coming all over her body. And she told me, oh, yes, this one devotee told me that I should just chant this many Nrsimha Kavachas every day and I should do this and do that. And I'm like, have you not heard from your Gurudev? You're about to die. What did Gurudev tell you to do? She said, take shelter of Hare Krishna, take shelter of Harinam. I said, then follow your Gurudev. Take shelter of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Within Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinam Tua Aneka Swarupa. All of Krishna's transcendental pastimes are present. Nishringa Bam and Srimad Husudan. Everything is present within the holy names of Krishna. Amala Harinam Amiya Vilasa. We should have faith in the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And if anyone in the name of bhakti, in the name of our Guru Varga, in the name of Rupa Goswami Mahaprabhu, is trying to engage us in any other process, we should be very careful. We should be very careful. Our process is Krishna Bhakti. Our process is taking the instructions of Mahaprabhu, not to become distracted and diversify and put our feet in so many boats, then we will never attain any destination. Or we will take a long, long time, as Gopu Kumar is going to show us. So we should focus our attention follow the instructions of Sri Guru in such a way, and I'm talking to myself here, that in one moment we can attain perfection. Srila Gurudev ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sri Sanatan Goswamipada ki jai, Srila Rupanuga Gauriya Guruvarga ki jai, Harinam Sankirtana ki jai, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Shri going beyond Vaikuntha ki jai. Tomorrow for us is the appearance day of Shri Gadadhar Pandit. Shri Gadadhar Pandit ki jai. So we will meditate on the glories of Shri Gadadhar Pandit and his relationship with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Also, we're going to be on that.
Right. And also tomorrow evening, we've been requested to take shelter of Harinam. Also, in front of the camera, we will be joining the, what is it called?
The
Festival of the Holy Name, Global Krishna Kirtan during the pandemic at 8 o'clock p.m. Vrindavan time, which is just after our program. So we would like if you would join us for that. We can all chant very loudly together. But there's so many different persons doing Hare Krishna constantly live. If you go, it's 24 hours. There's schedules made, and so many devotees are just chanting Hare Krishna. And it's so beautiful to witness devotees around the world chanting and joining others in chanting. So now we will call out to Hare Krishna for their mercy, that our hearts may become flooded with devotion for them, and that we might be able to serve them.
Hare
Hare Om Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada Gauri Guruvarga ki jai, Prabhupada Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachidananda Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Radha Vinoy Hari ki jai, Radha Sarkar ki jai, Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti, Govinda Damodara Madhaveti. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe, Jai 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 Shri Radhe. Shri Vrindavan Hari Lal ki jai, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Radhe, Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Shyam.
Dear devotees, thank you so much for joining us again, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Please go check out that 24-hour kirtan page. It's called The Holy Name,
Festival of the
Holy Name,
Global
On Facebook.
Global Pandemic, something,
Kirtan.
Global Kirtan. Check it out. There's 24-hour kirtans going on from devotees all over the world.
Like every half an hour, there's a different
And you
beautiful group of devotees.
continuously engage in kirtan. Thank you so much for this seva, for joining us and encouraging us. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Dandava.
Dandavat Pranam, Radhe Radhe,
Radhe
Hare
Radhe.
Krishna.